Hello and welcome to this live coding session presented by Java User Group Oberpfalz. Thank you for joining. I am your host, Johannes Rabauer, and my guest today is Brian Benz, a cloud advocate at Microsoft focused on Azure. And today we are building a support ticket classifier in Java with LangChain for J, and then Brian deploys that application to the Azure AI Foundry. And I'm pretty excited to see how that goes. As always, this is live and unscripted, so expect mistakes, but learning is pretty much guaranteed. And please feel free to ask questions or state any doubts, but really any kind of feedback is always greatly appreciated. So let's welcome together Brian Benz. Hi,
Hello,
Brian.
hello. Wow. Sound effect.
Yeah. Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey, glad to be here. Looking forward to this. I'm, been working with, I feel like I'm working in the future, and let's see if I am. I really have been with AI. It's been incredible what I've been able to do. I just have this amazing team of agents that I could use now. And, so I'm going to build something today the way I would build it. If someone asked me to build a demo, with A, B, and C and X, Y, and Z, this is exactly how I would do it, the tools I would use and stuff like that. So, we'll be using different models as well. So I'll show which ones we use.
Yeah, cool. So this will be a very practical example of how to deploy a Java application to Azure.
Yeah. And by the way, it would probably work for any cloud. And we're going to generate the code and we're going to share the source code at the end of the session. So actually in the middle, but yeah.
Amazing. So just a little bit about yourself. You are, I said you are a cloud advocate, but you are principal AI advocate at Microsoft. You work directly on the Azure AI Foundry and the cloud deployment.
Yeah, that's correct. So I'm actually part of the cloud native team. So cloud native team is focused on Kubernetes. In Azure, it's called the Azure Kubernetes Service. Other clouds have equivalent services for it. We basically run Kubernetes. We also have this thing called Azure Container Apps, which is it's similar to if you needed a Kubernetes node. You don't want to set up a Kubernetes infrastructure, but you just wanted a node to borrow, to run, to do things. You can do that as well. So we have all that that we can use at our disposal. And of course, all the other cloud services as well. There's hundreds, but those are the ones that I mainly focus on. It's about 30% of VMs at Microsoft that use Azure Kubernetes Service. And actually all the AI platforms that you've heard about that use Azure, OpenAI and others, use Azure Kubernetes Service and Postgres databases. So when you're in ChatGPT and you're typing something, your chat is saved in Postgres and it's using OpenAI on Azure Kubernetes Service. So that's the group that I work with.
All right.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. But you also, well, you have a lot of history in Java. You are a Java champion and a Jakarta EE ambassador as well, right?
That's correct. Yeah. It's been a while now. So 12, almost 13 years at Microsoft, coming up on 14 in November. It's been an interesting journey. I mean, when I started as an open source guy, Microsoft hired me in this group called MS Open Tech. And people were saying, why are you hiring open source people? And I mean, I still remember the early days of Java here. There was some history with Java and Microsoft, and it's sort of long gone now. But there was some contention between the Java, the company Sun and Microsoft at the time, and they were very nervous. They were very nervous about reaching out to the Java world, and I had some background in that at the time, more now. And so they hired me to be sort of the Java guy. It's just one person. And actually, they had some engineers that were building things as well behind the scenes, because, there's a lot of different programming languages, and they each have specific uses. And there was actually quite a bit going on. So originally, Microsoft's cloud was called Windows Azure. So it was just Windows.net. And they wanted to change that perception. So they hired open source people, including myself, and made it Microsoft Azure, and started doing things like, creating Linux VMs that you could run. And since then, it's evolved vastly to what it is today, which is basically Java is a very, very, very important part. And all these other services that we have, all of them support Java, including our AI Foundry that I'm going to show you in a bit, and of course Copilot and all these other things. So it's pretty astounding the progress we've made from, I don't know if we want to talk to Java. I had a lot of people were very nervous when I went and spoke at my first Java user group, which was in Seattle in 2012. I actually had to get some approvals as to what I was going to show and what I was going to say and things like this. It was okay. And they didn't need to be worried. People were just, it's not that they were like, nobody was upset at Microsoft. They just didn't care. It wasn't a relevant part of the Java world at the time. And so I used to say we had a profile of a startup. I mean, this huge company, Microsoft, had basically a profile of a startup in the Java world, which was like, we had to prove that we were a trustworthy partner and participant in the community. I think we did that. And, so the first few years was just me out going to presentations, going to events. I think that's probably where we first met, different events in Europe and everywhere in the world, actually, and just showing people that we have Java capabilities built into our cloud. And then gathering feedback as well. So that was a very important part as well. I used to go out to all these events. We were giving away swag and we were asking people to fill out surveys. We took that information and brought it back to Microsoft, and some of it was used and evolved into what we have today. So
okay, that is a pretty interesting history. But okay, that leads me to the question, because we will use a lot of AI tools to code and deploy all of this today.
Yes.
So that leads me to the question: how much coding do you still do by hand?
20% of what I used to, basically.
Okay, that's still something.
It's interesting. The marketplace, when AI first came out, I found this very interesting. That I think they thought they could replace the experienced people with younger, inexperienced people to save money. And and I saw a very quick change in that. So let's say around 2022, 2023, there was this sort of conventional wisdom, it seemed, in the coding world in big companies, that they could just hire a bunch of interns and have them watch, type in the prompts, and the prompts would generate the code and everything would work perfectly. But the problem with that is if you don't have any experience, you don't know how bad your code is. It might run, but it might get hacked the first second you put it out in public. And so that it completely changed around 2023, 2024. It was the complete mindset change was like, okay, so what we need is experienced people that can tell the difference between garbage and good code to actually look at the output of AI and determine if it's real. So those, experienced people went from having like a limited future to having an unlimited future. Let's put it that way, because it's really important. Now, the question now is, if we don't have any inexperienced people working their way up, what happens next, right? That's a standard question in the AI world. But I spend
Absolutely.
So getting back to your question, yeah, 20%. So I generate 80% of my code is generated.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and then 20% is reviewed and hand coded, or I'll just say, hey, this function needs to be fixed. This won't work at all. This doesn't do what we want it to, or this is not the right approach. Maybe depending on what it tried to use. Let's see what GitHub Copilot tries to use. We'll show some examples of that too. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So to the session and to the roadmap, I initially thought something else that we will do. I thought about that I will program the application and then try it locally and then hand it over to you, Brian, and you will deploy it, basically. Just only deploy it.
Yeah.
But we just had a little talk, and I think now that it's just easier that you actually code the app or let Copilot code the app and then deploy it yourself, just because you have a lot of workflow features that you want to show anyway. So this makes more sense.
Sure. Yeah. I've got one of the nice things working at Microsoft is we've got unlimited tokens and we've got access to all these resources. So I'm actually going to show 3 things today. I'll show the GitHub Copilot app. I'll show Visual Studio Code with Copilot. And then I'm going to show this thing called Scout, which a lot of people probably haven't heard of. It's still in private preview. But I use these tools for different things. You'll see what I use them for as we go along. But basically, when let's say, as an AI advocate, I'm asked to, I'm going to be speaking. Here's a good one. I'm going to be speaking at MCP Summit in Toronto. A little plug for myself in October 6th and 7th, I believe it is. And so I'll get, your session was approved, and I'm like, how that happens. So you put together this abstract, and your session is approved, and you're like, okay, now I got to build a demo, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to build the slides, and you have to build all the supporting materials and things like that. And then the next part is making it work, right? So let's prove that this thing can work, right? Okay, we generated the code, fantastic. You looked at the code, great. Is it really going to work? So that's what I use this tool Scout for. So Scout is, it's similar to OpenClaw or Hermes or Claude Code or NVIDIA, NVIDIA NemoClaw. There's a whole bunch of these tools out there that sort of allow you to act like a user on your computer. And they can generate code too. All these tools can do each other's jobs, but some of them just do it better than others. So the GitHub Copilot app I use to generate the code because it's really good, and I can use models and it just generates code. And then I use VS Code. I review the code, and then I can have Scout deploy the code to Azure to say, make this work, and each one of those steps builds new pieces of code in that repo. Deployment code, et cetera, anything it needs, environment variables, deciding which Azure services to use, all that stuff gets added automatically as things go on. And then I can deploy it to GitHub, and I can ask another Copilot in GitHub to review all the code and the Copilot in GitHub is really well tuned for security. So it'll check and see, you're not using Redis right. You've got some vulnerabilities here in your Redis code and stuff like that. So
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm going to show today. So
cool. So we got our roadmap, and I think everything is cleared up, and we can just jump right into coding.
Sure.
I'll add your screen to the stage.
Cool. So, all right. Hi. So there's me. You can go to github.com/bbenz for the repo will be there when we're done here. And I'll show it, of course, during the presentation, but that's it. So I just want to say hi. That's who I am. All right. So we're going to dive straight in. We talked about building a ticket support app. So it's going to analyze support tickets and do something with them. We haven't decided yet. on what it's going to actually do. We didn't talk about that part, but that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go over to GitHub Copilot. We're going to start. So I'm going to use 3 tools, as I mentioned. So I'm using the GitHub Copilot app. And all I did is I set up the folder I want to use. And I asked it to make sure that I'm logged in correctly. So you guys don't have to watch me log in using the Azure CLI. So it went through and it added the Azure CLI. And then I've got, for my model, I've got Claude Sonnet 5 I'm using. People still think, so I mentioned before that Microsoft started out as Windows Azure, and they wanted to move into open source world and embrace that. You know, it was a smart technical move, but also a business move, right? Our customers are using all this stuff. We need to be able to support them and also, you know, make money from that. So it's the same thing with the models. So it feels to me like after 14 years at Microsoft, we're starting over with the models. So the models originally, OpenAI was associated heavily with Microsoft, and it still is, right? But we have all these other models to choose from, and not everyone is up to date that we actually have these models. So we have, I don't know how many models I have here. Not everyone has all these, but just using the GitHub Copilot app, I've got all these available. And I like to use Claude Sonnet 5 to generate code, just because it just seems a little better. I use GPT 5.6 Sol to generate prompts. And then executing the code, like I say, I use other models when I'm deploying things, and GitHub Copilot uses its own model, et cetera, et cetera. So we got all these models to choose from. That's what I want to tell you. So I chose Claude Sonnet 5 for this, and I'm maxing it out. Why not? In context window. And so we're not going to actually do the app yet. What we're going to do is we'll say, hi there. I need to create a support ticket analytics system using Java. Now, I could use skills behind the scenes, but I want to just show everybody. So I can set up a skill that does some of this, like checks my environment for what version of Java I'm using and what version of Spring and stuff like that. And should we use, you mentioned LangChain for J, right?
Yeah. And Spring.
Java,
which is a uncommon combination, I think, but also
not necessarily. So Spring's really good at, you know, all the things that Spring does, the interaction, the UI, all that stuff. And LangChain for J is really good at connecting to different Azure services. And we're big supporters of both at Microsoft. So yeah. And of course, Spring has Spring AI as well.
Right.
Exactly. Now, if you have legacy applications, LangChain for J might be a little bit better for you, because non-Spring legacy applications, because LangChain for J just has more connectivity. Spring AI has good connectivity, but not as many. What do they call them? I can't remember the connectors. The LangChain
providers, I guess.
Providers, yeah. So they have a lot more facilities, code samples, things like that.
Okay.
So I need to create a support ticket analytics system.
One more thing, maybe in the prompt, because I'm also mentioning a Vaadin. Do you know that UI framework for Java? So I'm not sure what it would use. Maybe something like Timeleaf or something for the UI.
Yes, yeah, we'll automatically use Timeleaf, or
a
couple others if you use, because Spring's going to use Timeleaf in general, So Timeleaf would be the choice that would make if we don't tell it to use Vaadin. Spring, check my system to see which version of Java to use. And let's. No, I don't want to say I need to. Please create a prompt to, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to do something a little bit different. Please create a prompt to create, and I'm going to use GPT 5.6 Sol for this, because I like prompts that GPT 5.6 Sol does better. So create a prompt to create a support ticket analytics system. also create 100 sample support tickets. Use in the system. What format should the support tickets? I'm thinking CSV, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, we could get really fancy and create PDFs, but then we'd have to then we have to use a PDF parser.
Yeah.
Let's leave that for now. It's a demo app, but that is something you could do. And I'll show you one thing you can do with that. Huh?
Brian, I see you typing in all that prompt. So what I did in the last weeks is I simply talk to the AI. So I let it transcribe what I'm saying, and I found that I'm saying much more. When I talk, I use a lot more words than if I just write it down. So did you ever try that, or is that something you don't want to do?
No, it is something I can do. Where's the voice? Start dictation. I can actually click this and I can do that over here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the GitHub Copilot app does it. I could just use the voice in Windows, but
the Copilot app I think does it if you don't write anything. So if you cut all that content, then you can click the microphone. I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just being curious because that's something that I found was so much more comfortable. Actually, I started doing this on my phone because if I prompt on my phone, it takes such a long time, and I hate that. So I'm just dictating now.
All right, so let's see. I don't think I have that set up. I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. I think it's an extension. Is it? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. So because I have the GitHub Copilot app open right now, and just besides the arrow button here, there's a microphone button for me. But you probably have to set it up.
Wow.
I was just wondering if you do that or if that is something.
I've used it, to be honest. I've used it in VS Code, but I'm old school.
Okay.
I do it in here. So
all right.
But let's go through this. So I'll go through here and please create a prompt to create a support ticket analysis in Java, lang.jpj, and bottom for the check my system video and other tools to use. And then the application should be able to run locally and to deploy to Azure. Okay. And then one other thing I did that I didn't mention here before we joined, I went ahead and I created an M file in this directory. And I put a whole bunch of, I won't show it here, but I put a whole bunch of credentials in here for OpenAI and stuff. So they can use that in the application, not for generating the code, but in the application when it runs. You can use this M file. So let's do copy path. There are some credentials for OpenAI for models that can be used in this one, and please add in the words that are needed. And I think it's going to add a git ignore for us. Let's hope, because I don't want to push my M file. But there's nothing else in there. There's just an M file here. That's all we have. Totally.
Just because you told it to create a prompt, I'm wondering if it's writing that end content into the prompt. Probably not.
Oh, no,
right?
no.
It will also just reference the file in the prompt.
It'll reference. Yeah. Let me.
All right.
That's a good point, though. There are some credentials, small, big used. And please add any more that are needed. Write the prompts, a prompt folder, and write the data to data
Okay.
folder. Yeah,
So it
let's
should
go with
create
that.
multiple prompts.
Oh yeah, no, I that's what I always do. Whenever you'll see in all my repos out on GitHub, I have a prompts folder and I have all the prompts I use in there. I don't, so
Okay.
everyone can rebuild
All
it.
right. All right.
So usually build something pretty extensive. So let's go check the system. Okay. Please ask clarifying questions. So this GitHub Copilot app is really good at doing that. And so please don't deploy anything for now. I usually don't have to say this, but we're doing a demo, so I don't know.
Just to be safe.
Just the prompt. All right, let's see what it does. Yeah, so one of the things I was going to do while this runs, I was going to show you what I did with, so I'm going to deploy this out to Azure. You don't need to see my subscriptions, but I use the AI Foundry. This is ai.azure.com. And there's 11,000 models in here. It only shows 202 right now for some reason. But there's a lot of different models you can use. As I mentioned before, so we have all these models. We're all friends here. You can deploy any of these, including Fable, by the way. So Fable, everyone thinks it's locked behind paywall. It is, but you can use Claude Fable here in Azure as well, and it's deployed locally here.
All right.
Okay, so GitHub Copilot has, you heard that little bing? I don't know if you heard that. That means that Copilot is asking me some questions. So it needs some interactions. So if I'm not on the window, it pings me, which is nice. So which should the demo emphasize more? End-to-end AI triage plus analytics. Should I make that bigger? I'll make it bigger. Executive analytics dashboard and trends. Support agent Copilot with semantic search. Let's see. I like.
A is good, right?
The first one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
A, and then usually it generates some more. What language mix should the 100 sample sport tickets be in? Let's do some English and German. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, perfect. That's interesting that it's automatically suggesting English and German.
Yeah, it is. Well, because you know why? Because of the directory name.
The Yog Overfalls. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's why. Wow. That's pretty amazing, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Let's see, which hosting target? Let's go with AKS because that's what I work with a lot these days. Okay. So that's Kubernetes. That's Microsoft's Azure Kubernetes service. And then the tickets and AI search. I like that. The PG vector locally. So it's going to create a container with PG with the local Postgres that we can run.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good one. And we don't want to use Azure AI search. Postgres is a little more.
I'm not sure I understand. So PostgreSQL with PG vector, yes, I know that. And Azure database for PostgreSQL. What? Yeah,
it's an Azure service. So when we deploy it to Azure, it's going to create Azure Postgres database. It's called the Azure database for Postgres.
Okay.
So I mentioned before,
but locally, if we run the application locally, then it will use PostgreSQL.
Exactly.
That's okay. Sorry. Yeah.
So it's running locally on Postgres with PG vector, and then it'll run a Postgres service when we deploy it to Azure.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
And that's exactly by that Postgres service for Azure is exactly what, when you're typing ChatGPT and you have your chats saved, that's where it saves them. So
okay,
that's good. Obviously a proven approach. I haven't had any chats lost yet. Let me see. Azure OpenAI via the existing OpenAI settings. Yeah. So which model provider should we treat as primary? I've already got in that M file at OpenAI, so it's just asking me to do that. Or I can create an OpenAI API. Let's just go with the Azure OpenAI with the API settings. That way it'll connect, the application will connect to the model that I already created. And then Should the demo include user authentication? No authentication for the demo. Yeah. YOLO. So let's see. What deployment artifacts should the generated application include for AKS? Let's see. Bicep. Oh, no, I don't like that, actually. Terraform. I think that's better. Or we're going to do raw Kubernetes YAML.
Terraform plus
let's
Helm
do YAML.
is, okay.
Kubernetes YAML is the best choice, actually, because that's generally what people use when they're running Kubernetes, right? So if we use Kubernetes YAML, this is just for the deployment manifest for Kubernetes. Then most people that you can technically run that on any Kubernetes platform. If it's local or another cloud provider. What business domain should the sample tickets represent? Oh yeah. So I don't know, about B2B SaaS cloud platform. I don't know. Let's go for IT help desk for an enterprise.
Yeah. I would have taken this as well.
Yeah. This is where experience comes in. So the raw Kubernetes YAML, that's something that it was the third choice, but it's the one that most people are going to expect in a repo using Kubernetes. So
all right.
So that's going to be the Kubernetes manifest that gets deployed. So let's see. I'm going to go back to the other thing I was talking about in a minute. Hopefully when this is done. Let's see. Checking in which environment settings are populated, blah, blah, blah. Without revealing values. Good. Yeah, it's checking that. So while it's doing that, let me show you. Let me get back to the Foundry. So I already deployed one model, but there's I think there's about 11,000 models to choose from here. But I've already got a data model here. And all I did was I took this endpoint here, copied it and the key, and I copied those to my M file. We also have some Java code that we can use here.
Okay.
If you want to authenticate, but it's going to use its own code. It's going to use the Open API. And so we don't necessarily need to give it this code, although we could. I could have copied this code and said, hey, use this code in the app, but let's see what it builds. But we have that. We have all kinds of things in different languages to use. And then I can go into the playground and you can try your model and see if it does what you expect it to do. But we don't want to do that right now. That's the only deployment I have right now. So so that's going to be for, so it's actually going out and it's getting the Vaadin docs. It's getting LangChain4j dev integrations. As I mentioned before, LangChain4j has a few more than Spring. Spring's good, but yeah, LangChain4j is really good for integrations. Integrations, that's the tool. That's the name I was looking for earlier.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Provider.
Yeah, and then we're getting the LangChain4j from Maven. We're getting the Spring framework, so we're going to use Spring framework. So it's going to grab everything, the latest stable versions. It's going to work with my version of Java, which I believe is, I'm a little behind the times. I think I'm in 21 or 25. I can't remember.
All right.
But anyway, that's
anything past 8 is good.
Yeah. I didn't max out the token window. Let me see if we can do that. There you go. The reason why I do that is just in case we run out of tokens or run out of context while we're doing this. We don't want to do that because it's a live demo. So normally I would, if I run out of context, it's like, okay, it's going to do the compressing thing, where it waits a little while and goes back and gets more context. But yeah.
I always try to keep that context really small. So usually I'm trying to do 1 or 2 tasks in one chat, and then I start a new session anyway.
Yeah.
So I never had that scenario where it compresses stuff.
Yeah. So there you go. So Java, I'm on Java 21, Maven, Spring Boot 3.5, Vaadin 24, LangChain4j 119. So it's going to actually build a prompt plus an exactly 100 ticket JSON-L data set. Oh, I didn't mention what format, did I? For the data set. I didn't say CSV. So it's going to do JSON-L. Fine. So yeah, I didn't.
Just
if I look at the prompt, I didn't. I just said 100 sample support tickets. I didn't mention which ones. That's okay. That's all right. So it's going to generate all that, and it'll be in here. So while I'm doing that, I wanted to talk, because this is kind of boring. When it's going here, we can show a little bit of that. But there's also another cool tool. We used to have these things called GitHub Models, which is basically a tool for grabbing a model. If you want to try out different models without having to deploy them, you could go out, and it was included with GitHub Enterprise. You could go out and you could just grab a model. All you need is an endpoint and a GitHub path. Unfortunately, they discontinued that, which was unfortunate. I really used it a lot for demos, and I think a lot of people else used it for tire kicking. But the next best thing is build.nvidia.com. And we might show this today as well. I don't know. But they have a whole bunch of models here. And the nice thing about it, everyone's familiar with Hugging Face, which is apparently in acquisition talks. I don't want to say too much about that because it's public, like it's out in the public, but it's not. Looks like somebody's buying them, not us, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah, NVIDIA, they've got a whole bunch of models. They've even got some meta models now. Look at that. But the cool ones here are the Nemotron models. So if you need something to do parsing, for example, they have some really good parsers and stuff like that.
Okay.
And anywhere where it says free endpoint here, you can click there and you can get an endpoint, and you have to sign up for an NVIDIA developer account and get an NVIDIA API key. And you can use this for testing. It's profoundly slow, but it does the job. So build.nvidia.com. That's kind of a cool one.
Cool.
Let's get back to the prompt, see how we're doing. Yeah, so it's blah, blah, blah. So it's creating the JSON file. Let's go over to VS Code and see what it's building. No, that's not VS Code, Brian. Here we are. So we've got the data. We got the prompts. So it's building the prompt and the data. So that wasn't there before. I won't open it right now. I'll just let it build. Then when it's done, it'll build. I think I might have slowed things down by switching to the big model. All right. So, or the big context window. So prompts. Yeah. So there we go. So the prompt is done. And then I usually come over to VS Code. I mean, it tells you here that you can open it. I find the UI here for reviewing code really clunky. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I go into VS Code after this and I look at the code. So the prompt itself, let's have a look. This is the one. So let's go here. Let's view it and let's open it. How do you open it again? Darn it. I know there's a way to open this in. Anyway.
As a preview, right?
Yeah. This is the preview, but there's a way to open in a new window so you can see it.
Okay. I think you can just pull it over from the tab into another tab group. No?
Yeah, it's okay. We'll just look at it here.
All right.
But yeah, basically, so it's going to work with this. It's going to preserve the existing prompts, data, env and env example files, things I wouldn't think of like that. Do not print, log, or commit or copy secret values from env. There you go. So it will create a git ignore, I hope. Let's see. Analytics. All right. So this is all the answers to the questions that we went through. And then the local tool chain is going to use, Docker Compose. Cool. And then make the tickets. So it already created the tickets. So it's going to parse JSON-L and it's going to create a database with Postgres. I'm just going through this real quick. I probably won't edit any of this today. Semantic search and related tickets. Okay. Analytics. VOD and UI. Oh, we're going to have a dashboard view, tickets view, ticket detail view. Okay.
Very nice.
Cool. And then we've got the existing variables. So this is what's in the M file. Yeah, because that represents what I do every day. I usually have an M file with all the values already populated in there. So I have the build.nvidia.com API key. I have the OpenAI deployment already in there. So won't have to go and get those or deploy anything. And then we figured out that we're logged into the right tenant because I have multiple tenants at Microsoft that I can build this on. All right. And it even has some information here. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead. Thanks. Now, we're going to switch to Cloud Sonnet 5 because I find it's a little better for generating code. Please execute. I was very polite to my AI.
Yeah, I see that.
That's because we'll all be working for it someday. So it's good to make sure.
Good to be nice to the AI overlord.
Yeah. And so I always, even though it's a little extra tokens, have you heard about Caveman? Did you hear about this?
Yeah. I never used it before, but I found it so funny that you basically prompt the AI to talk like a caveman and therefore save tokens.
Yeah, it saves. Right? Well, if you're doing a lot of interactive chatting, it saves tokens. Just me want data, sort of thing. But it's kind of interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's basically going through and it's going to write this. It's going to build it, and so this is my real world workflow. I switched models, from GPT-5, 6 Sol. I find it does, and I use Cloud Sonnet 5, and then sometimes I'll switch back to Cloud Sonnet or Cloud or Opus. GPT-5, 6 Sol. To verify the application when it's done. All right. Just because it's another pair of eyes, or any one of these models. So as I mentioned before, we have tons of models. And by the way, in VS Code, you still have all these models too.
In the chat window, right?
Yeah. So if I close this, close. Okay.
Doesn't want to close anymore.
Doesn't want to close today. I think it's something wrong. But if I go to the chat, I have even more models here. So I was last using GPT-5, 6 Sol fast, but I've got Opus 5. Oh, I could have used Opus 5 for the code generation. Anyway, doesn't matter. For code generation like this, it's Sonnet is fine.
I found
way too many models.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sonnet is such a great model, and I did not find a lot of chatter about this. So for every Opus model, for every tiny version, there's a big thing about it that it's so great or that it's complete shit. But Sonnet 5, I did not hear anything about it. I just saw it pop up in actually VS Code.
Yeah,
and I'm amazed by it. I love that model right now. That's like perfect because it's not that huge as like Opus, but it also gets the job done real nice. It doesn't make a lot of mistakes in my use cases.
Yeah, and by the way, you can browse the leaderboards here, and you can compare models.
Oh, okay.
So this is
your leaderboard.
Yeah, this is back in Microsoft AI Foundry, so ai.azure.com. So you can compare models here. Fable 5, you can try it out. You can evaluate on your data. You can use the model, and then Opus 5 seems to be slightly better, and then Opus 4, 6 Sonnet. Where's Sonnet? Hey. But anyway, Sonnet 5 is a little lower.
Oh, okay.
In terms of quality. So there's different things, right? There's quality, safety, benchmark cost, and throughput. So I think in terms of quality, Sonnet 5 is just a little cheaper, and it's not as, I guess the code quality isn't as good, but it's cheaper. Yeah. I find it's okay. And yeah, so here we go. Here's a benchmark. I don't know if I can zoom in on this. There's a benchmark thing here. You can look at quality versus safety, quality versus throughput, or quality versus benchmark, quality versus cost. So Opus 5 is fairly expensive. So is Fable 5. Sonnet is, well, not as, it doesn't rate as high, but it's less.
It's not even in there.
So, oh, because we didn't add it.
Yeah, you can select it. Oh, okay. Okay.
Sonnet 5, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so it's a lot cheaper, I guess, technically. I mean, for me, I probably should have used Opus 5, but I think Sonnet 5 will do just fine for this.
Oh, okay. But it said here that Grok is actually has better quality and lower cost. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Yeah. It's and there's also quality versus safety. Let's see. So Grok is way over here on safety, unfortunately.
And Sonnet is deselected again.
It's easy to yeah. And then quality versus throughput. Where's Grok? Grok's sort of, yeah, it's up there with throughput, but it's not quite as safe as Fable or Opus.
Yeah.
And then why didn't it do Sonnet again? Okay. Oh, there it is. So Sonnet is still lower quality, but safer than Grok. Grok's a little attack success rate. So that's a bit misleading. It should be prevented attacks, and it should be, but anyway. Anyway, quality versus throughput. So yeah, there's different ways you can check things, the benchmarks and stuff. So Sonnet 5, you can go in here and you can actually, you can't click on it. Okay. Interesting.
It's selected on the right side then.
Yes. Yeah. And then you can go in here. By the way, they're changing this around all the time. If you see, I didn't click on New Foundry because anyway. So the model capabilities, use cases, pricing, where's the benchmarking? So I have code samples, more details from the model provider. You got information here. And where's the, is there a tab? Yeah, benchmarks. So sometimes they don't include a benchmark tab. This one does. So comparing with Grok 4, hey, there you go. It hurt us. The quality of Sonnet is better. Safety, Grok 4 is better.
Wow.
See, lower is better. So you got to.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It doesn't.
This is why I was mentioning it as misleading. I don't like the way they do this. They should say prevented attacks or something like that. Like, I'm not sure attack success rate. Anyway, estimated costs, similar. Latency, Sonnet 5 is lower is better. So Grok has that. And then generated tokens per second, higher is better. So Sonnet 5 is a little better for that. So whatever. There's all kinds of stuff. And they use different metrics, right? So for these, and of course, Sonnet, Anthropic provides their own models, benchmarks as well.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see what we got here. So the background agent is now working through the full implementation. It started Docker for me. Let's skip that. I think we can just use Docker without signing in today because we're just running things locally. So okay. Sorry, that was off screen.
Yeah.
Docker started up. It started up Docker for me. I forgot to start Docker, so it started it up for me.
I'm wondering, because you're running this in interactive mode, and usually if I do this, I get tons of questions and do you want to allow this? Do you want to allow this command? Stuff like that. But you don't get this.
I said it YOLO. Where is that? Where is it? Sessions.
hopefully experimental.
Yes. I don't know. Let me see. Sessions. I don't know. Somewhere in here, there's a way to set it so it's in YOLO mode all the time.
Okay, all the time.
Because I'm not writing mission critical applications. I'm writing demos, so, and I really haven't had any problems with it yet. You know, cross fingers, touch wood, all that stuff. But yeah, somewhere in the settings here, I think it is actually in the sessions. I've got it set up so it will do auto approve. Yeah, tool permissions. So approve all. I've got it set up so it basically approves everything. I do get questions in VS Code still, even if I do the YOLO mode. And I also in Scout, I get a lot of questions as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you that after. Let's look at the code. See where we're at with the code. I want this close. Close. There we go. So that's the prompt. And then in the data, I think we didn't look at the data yet. So this is just support tickets. It's just a JSON file of 100. And it looks like they have pretty extensive data, language, et cetera, et cetera. And made up issues and and look the location and all that stuff. Okay, let's see what it does with that. And then we've got all this has been generated since we last spoke, and it's got some PowerShell scripts. These are usually temporary scripts that are generated.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's look at so Maven has got the wrapper properties. Okay, Kubernetes. So this is going to be the deployment. This is when I mentioned the deployment manifest. I want it to be in YAML because that's if you're using Kubernetes locally or something, that's how you do it. You can use Terraform as well, but this is what most people working with Kubernetes expect. They expect a deployment manifest. It's got a namespace for us, secret template service. So we're gonna do a deployment and add a service. Yeah, this is cool. And then config map. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, policy disruption budget, secret template. All right, and we got our POM. Let's see. Let's package JSON. What happened?
Yeah, that's not the
POM. There we go. That was weird. So we're going to use Spring Boot.
Yeah.
Vaadin.
Test containers. That's nice.
Yeah. Use test containers for
for integration tests. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully. Then Flyway DB. Interesting. Okay. Postgres, PG Vector, Vaadin, LangChain for J, Azure, of course, Micrometer, OpenTelemetry, Spring Framework.
Yeah, but that's interesting that it's doing a lot. Well, it's preparing for tests, so it's using Mockito and test containers. That's cool, and it's also doing the monitoring. So OpenTelemetry, Micrometer. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And the Flyway for migrating databases is also pretty cool. I mean, I would probably also add this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't ask it to. That's the cool part.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool.
It's just doing it. It's amazing. This is the part I just find this amazing sometimes. So it's still putting everything together. So this takes so far 12 minutes for generating the code. So based on your current or your previous suggestion, it'll take a little less than 3 weeks, even if we have to debug
it. Hopefully. Well, can we take a look at the plan? It does say that on the bottom near the input field. No, if you go to the GitHub Copilot application, just above the text input field, there's a plan.
Oh, plan, yeah. So it's okay. So it's scaffolding amazing project. It's going to write the Flyway migrations, domain entities, setting up the ticket importer, implementing LangChain for J, embeddings and semantic search, deterministic analysis, VOD and UI views. So it's going to take a while still. And let's see what it's doing in the background. So it's running 4 agents at the moment. Oh, install account extensions. We got to figure that one out. List all tenants and subscriptions. So basically, it's going through and finding out about the accounts now, and authenticating the developer CLI. Oh, maybe I need to do something.
But that's completed. At least it says it's completed here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know what this one is. Let's see. Was this done earlier?
Yeah, I think that's.
Oh yeah, it was done 1 hour ago. Okay, never mind. This is an old one. Okay. Yeah. So we can close that one.
Here we go.
Okay. So yeah, basically it's still working through some stuff. So it's going to take a while. Still generating the code. What else can we talk about in the meantime? Oh, I guess I can show you Scout a little bit. So I can show you what
yes, please. I don't know anything about that. And you said that, okay, it says it's internal. Is that available to the public at all or not? Not yet?
Yes. So let me see. What can I show here? Where's my browser? Here. So Microsoft Scout. So yeah, Microsoft Scout is a basically it's a personal agent, and you can do things like you can schedule tasks on it. So it's basically managing your desktop. And one of the things I use it, the reason I use it for doing deployments and things, is I can leave it running in the background and it just works. But basically what it's a lot like OpenClaw. So I don't know if you are familiar, probably you and your viewers are familiar with OpenClaw. We've had, we hired the OpenClaw creator at Microsoft. He's a VP, CVP, sorry if I got that wrong, but of Microsoft, and he is basically building things like Scout. And Scout is similar to that. It's sort of an interactive way to, you can run agents, but you create them through a prompt. You don't actually have to run them yourself. Or you don't have to create and edit the agents yourself. And it has really, really good security, which can be annoying sometimes, but it's a necessary thing. So it asks you a lot of times, can I do this? Can I do that? Is it okay if I open this? You know, there he is. So Amar Shaheen, Corporate Vice President of Microsoft Scout. So he's a CVP.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, so that's cool. Pride of Microsoft Scout. He led the Microsoft. Oh, so this isn't the guy who created OpenClaw.
Yeah, I thought the guy about OpenClaw, he went to OpenAI.
Okay, hold on. This is embarrassing. I've got that wrong.
Enterprise. Yeah.
I thought it was. Anyway, I guess not. And never mind. So it's Omar Shaheen is the CVP. I thought he was the guy who created OpenClaw and was hired by Microsoft. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. It's a lot of things to remember.
Yeah.
It's changing every day.
Exactly.
So yeah, basically the whole idea here is that you can. Okay, so Shaheen created Lobster, a personal AI assistant built on OpenClaw.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's pretty good. Okay. And the whole idea, I guess, is that, first of all, it's open source, that we're going to be able to use it autonomously but securely. And it just has a nice feature. So let me actually show it instead of talking about it.
But to get quickly back to my question, I don't think it's available to the public just yet.
Not yet. Sorry.
Yeah.
It is in private preview, but it should be out soon. That's why I'm showing it. I actually got permission to show it. But but basically it's just a way to work. It was announced at Build, and so it's public knowledge, but it's unfortunately still in private preview. But it should be out soon. And I just wanted to show this because it's part of my everyday work environment. And if anyone has an enterprise account at Microsoft, you can ask for access to this. And you just basically install it, and it works really well. I'll show you what it does. So I use it every day. I have a few things I do. I check my DevRel issues to see what I'm working on at the moment. And then I check my session eyes. And this is one little limitation with it. That's why it's in private preview is I log into session eyes, but then every once in a while I can't authenticate. It loses the authentication. Okay. So I don't know about you, but when I'm submitting to different topics at different conferences, for some reason, I miss the session eyes announcements that say, "Hey, your session's been accepted."
Okay.
So now I ask Scout to go out and check session eyes every day. Mm-hmm. Tell me if anything's changed, so I don't miss those. And then there's also travel changes. So I'm always watching to make sure my travel got approved. So those are my three things I do: DevRel issues, just checking, and that's how we keep track of what we're working on at Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then session eyes status changes and any changes in my travel approvals. And then so this one, we've got this. Today I said, use this local repo. I'm using Cloud Opus 5 in this case. And I asked it just before we, oh no, that's the wrong one. Where is it? JCon. Well, I shouldn't be showing you all this stuff. Where's the, I created a new session. Hold on. This is just don't worry about this one. This is something I'm using in Azure Arc, which is I've got a Azure, AWS, and GCP connected, and you can use that to I can use that to basically control all those AKS from Azure. Something called Azure Fleet. Is this the one? No, that's not it. Where'd it go? I've lost my session. So submit JCon session proposals. So for example, I can go and I can actually, once I've created my session proposals, I can have Scout go into Session Eyes and fill them out for me.
Is that possible yet?
Yes,
just because I'm submitting at JCon as well, and
yeah,
I didn't know. Are they open now?
Took me 5 minutes. Yeah, no. Richard Fichtner reached out to me, and yeah. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Session Eyes. So let me see. I don't see it here anymore. Okay. This is why it's in preview, I guess. I don't know. I swear I had it right here. But let's just start here. I know I've authenticated already. So we'll start here when we're doing Scout. But basically, that's what you can do. I can create a new chat. There's automations and there's extensions I'm not supposed to show you. That's the only thing I was told I can't show because the extensions change all the time. But there's ways of connecting to all your enterprise applications and stuff. But yeah, so Session Eyes is a great example. So I asked it to submit my JCon session proposals.
Yeah.
And it took about 10 minutes to do 3 of them. And, as much as I love filling out forms, I basically gave it my session proposals.
Yeah.
And I said, can you please submit these in a text file in Markdown? And it went out to JCon. Yeah, it went out to the Session Eyes and it filled out the forms for me. I used Playwright. So that's an important point. So one of the reasons I use Scout is these days, a lot of websites are blocking API access or CLI access if they think it's an agent running. And so if it has problems with that, Scout automatically switches to Playwright and opens a browser window for me. So yeah. So I don't know if you're familiar with Playwright, but basically it's a free tool from Microsoft, and it will basically mimic you typing into a website.
Yeah, so it's used for integration tests, right?
Yes,
usually.
Yeah. So it used it here for for creating my session eyes. It actually literally went into the website, logged in, and typed in everything where it was supposed to be. And then it said, what I did is I asked it to say, stop before you submit it and let me know. So I get a little beep on my computer and I look at the session eyes proposal and I say, yeah, that looks good. And I hit submit.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's just a little, it's not just a time saver. It's just, I don't, you know, as much as I love filling out forms, as much as my passion is I have for filling out forms, it'll do it for you. So it fills out all the stuff, and you know, and I have answers to all the questions. But then you review it. Obviously, you don't just let it submit them by itself.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, and then you know, add a little bit. I usually, like I say, 20%. When I do 20% of my coding, I also do 20% of my you know, editing, things like that. So it submits, 80% is good, and then 20% I fix and submit the session. So it saves a huge amount of time. I can do, you know,
especially with I have a huge problem with the sessions, just because I have my title, I have my description, my abstract, but each system requires some little differences, like a character limit of 150 or 1,000 or something like that.
So what it'll do automatically when I do that, it'll say, oh, your abstract's too long.
Yeah.
I'm editing your abstract for you.
Nice.
And in this
case,
pretty
cool.
If you notice down here, the new headshot was accepted.
Yeah.
Okay. And
so there are a lot of restrictions for the photo for the headshot as well, right?
Yeah. So guess what it did automatically? I couldn't do that, but in my pictures, I have a folder called headshots.
Yeah.
So it automatically said, oh, this, you know, this headshot is not a fit. And it checked my headshots to see which ones were and changed that.
Nice. Yeah, that is a real time saver, and it's work that nobody wants to do anyway.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Exactly. Sometimes it's too big, sometimes it's too small, but it automatically did it. And I had one of my sessions co-presenting with Ed Burns, so it found his email and forwarded that. So sorry, Ed, I exposed your email there, but I hope that's so anyway, so that's kind of what it does. And let's go back to our
let's get back to the actual application.
Copilot. Oh man, we're still doing even why? I don't know why. An issue. Maybe we are getting a little too ambitious.
Yeah. But the scaffolding itself shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, it shouldn't take that long. Really. It usually takes minutes to do code generation. No issues, not stuck. There's an active Java process.
Well, okay.
Test. Okay.
Well, no, it's basically compiling and running Vardin, and Vardin downloads a lot of stuff from NPM in the beginning. 12 minutes are too long for that.
File and download packages. Wait, compile and run. There's no need to compile and run packages. I should have put that in the script, in the prompt. So there's no need to compile and run packages on download, please. Skip that step and any subsequent compile and run jobs testing. We'll do that in a separate process. How's that?
All right.
Yeah, let's do that. I should have done that. Yeah, it's downloading and compiling and testing everything. Oh, no. Hi.
Well, it wants to be thorough, I guess.
Yes. No, I mean, if in the real world, maybe I would just, leave this running and go to lunch and come back. But, we're doing a demo, so
Right.
it's taking a while. I know we limited for time too. People are going to get bored with this video.
Well, if people watch it later, they can skip that part. There will be check-ins and then.
Okay, so there we go. So now this thing should be moving a little faster. Let's hope. Let's see.
And just to understand this is not, you don't have that in any repository yet. No, it's not committed yet. You have created a repository with the end files, but it's not committed yet.
It's just a directory for now. It's not even a repository, but I'm going to deploy it using VS Code when it's done.
What do we need to do to set up the whole cloud for this application? Will we do that in Scout completely?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I would just ask it, deploy this in Scout using the deployment files that you have available.
Okay. And then we can take a look at what it created in your account.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to edit some of this out. I don't know. Sorry, folks, for the well, hopefully the Scout information and stuff is useful.
Absolutely. Like I said in the beginning, that's always experimental a little bit. Sometimes it works very well, and sometimes it takes a while. So.
Yes. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. As I know, it's already been what? According to this, it's 1 hour, 12 minutes so far.
Yeah.
Okay. How long do you usually run the?
About 2 hours. After 2 hours, I'm trying to cut it.
Oh, no. If 2 hours is acceptable, that's plenty of time, I think. Famous last words, but we'll see.
Okay. So another question. What I tend to do nowadays is also let the AI run in the cloud. So I very rarely let it run locally. But always let it run in the cloud.
Yeah, I could have
just because I can do stuff on my phone as well. So I'm sitting on the by the pool and just can prompt something really quick and then go back in for a swim.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that is actually true. You can, you can actually run that on the cloud as well. I didn't, but there is an option for all the tools we're showing today to run it on the cloud. I just want to show everything local, just because it's I don't know. It gives you more interaction this way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing you did with the end file is not possible in the cloud because you would have to put it in, I guess, in the GitHub secrets. Then it would work.
Yeah. I guess you could. Yeah. But that's complicated too, because you can't just load a whole M file into the secrets. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do every property by yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. So, okay. So now we got some action happening now. It's not just testing everything. So that's good.
But it's still in the plan on the right, it's still scaffolding for some reason.
Yeah. Well, it's still, I think it's just checking out the code in general. It's not running a test, but it's just checking that everything fits together. I think essentially what it's doing. And I guess it wasn't finished entirely. It was, as you pointed out, it was downloading and it was compiling and testing every single package it was downloading. So
that's
not good. that's something you would add to a skill, right? That's what you would add to a skill and say, hey, no, don't do that. But that's the first time it's ever done it for me, by the way. Normally,
okay.
Yeah, normally it would build everything. Oh, okay, there you go. Look at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a surprise.
Right. Okay. So it's just like, fine. You don't want any testing here. Okay. All scratch debug files the agent left behind were cleaned up. Okay. So there's going to be those PowerShell scripts. Okay. Let's go into the README. So I'll do this like a regular person would. It's got everything here. So we go to the README. We should be able to find instructions for setting this up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's do that. Got Docker running over here. So we're okay. So there we go. Good. All right. Get rid of that. Let's see. Oh. I've got to log into Docker. Hold on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't log in. I just skipped that part because I have an account and I'm always signed in.
Yeah.
But it's usually, I'll move this off screen.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to put in credentials and everything. Continue. Okay.
I think your phone is vibrating, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
For some reason, that's very clearly to hear.
Okay. Okay, I think we're in now. There we are. So now let's try that again.
So that's interesting because that I know that error message and I have that if Docker is not running at all, but you have Docker running. That's a bit.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Right there.
But are you in the WSL because the path seems a bit weird?
No, that's my. I'm in there. This is WSL. So.
Yeah, but should you be in the WSL? So you're on a Windows machine, right?
Yes. Hold on. Yeah, no, that's right. That's the right directory. GitHub local. That's a directory. Okay, so you know what I'll do? Let's do it. This is. Now let's go into Cloud Opus 5. Please resolve this error message. There's probably somebody in the audience going, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, this is all the way it should be.
Usually if I do this, I work in the PowerShell, but you don't do this. You work in WSL.
I can work in PowerShell, Git Bash, command prompt.
All right.
I use WSL just because it's Bash and yeah.
But I thought that's in a separate environment. Like it can't access the same tools. That's why I thought that's
so
strange.
It's checking it's checking it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Check my setup. If you look down here, this is when you work in VS Code. This is where it's all doing things behind the scenes down here. So, yeah.
You have to allow that, I guess.
Oh yeah, hold on. Autopilot. I have to do this every time I start a new session.
Yeah.
Should have been working if I'm logged in. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. But I've been using this a lot. I use Docker all the time. I just didn't have it running when we started. Maybe it started in a weird way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have started in a non. Let's see. Obviously, it's working because we have Docker. Like it created this.
Yeah, that's probably the GitHub Copilot app that started that, right? For tests.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I should be able to fix that easily.
That's weird. I don't normally have this issue. Oh, okay. Let's see.
Could you try just start a new terminal with PowerShell and type in the same command?
Oh, I don't think that's, well, yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's weird. Okay.
It's some WSL integration thing.
Okay. Anyway, in the interest of proceeding, but I will. I'm still going to persist in. Well.
Yeah, in fixing this.
No, but I want to use maybe I will use this in WSL. I don't know if it's going to have the same issue.
Well, that's not using Docker by itself. Only if
the application will.
Yeah, if you start it.
So I don't know if that's an issue. Let's see. What?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, okay, that's Windows.
What the heck? Oh no. Okay.
Well, it's a CMD.
To Unix. Well, let's go to PowerShell again. I don't know if does this work in PowerShell? I've never used it in PowerShell, to be honest. I always use Maven. I mean in WSL. Okay.
Oh yeah.
What the hell? Never done this before, to be honest. I've always used WSL for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, restart the Ubuntu distro. That's
okay.
Probably
we're not losing anything.
Good. Yeah.
It won't kill the PowerShell. That's okay. All right, it's going to take a minute to run.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you could use PowerShell for this, even though I work at Microsoft. This is pretty bad. But I've never done that. I've never actually run
Okay.
Maven in PowerShell.
I use that all the time.
Okay. Well, for the folks out there who are using WSL, if you're not, it usually works. But let's run this. Yeah. Looks like it's running. So let's see what we got.
I mean, and it is interesting that the README looks like it is written for Windows and not for WSL or Linux.
It's well, I don't usually do that. I didn't mention that, but I guess I could always just specify WSL. But what happened? Oh no.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Go up to the actual error. Well, where is the issue? Huh. Oh, it's so it's still working settings in memory.
Yeah.
All right. It's stopping Docker. Okay, maybe that's what happened.
Oh yeah, that could be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Docker desktop. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Stopped. Okay, let's just wait for a second. Sorry about this, folks. Didn't think that would be a problem. I'm still logged in. Good.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta update. I'm not gonna do that now. Okay, let's see what we got now. And I'm just gonna kill this terminal because we don't need this anymore. Oh, it restarted. No, it didn't. Okay. So it's checking over here. You can see it's actually working, checking.
Yeah. But that seems like it's at least reaching Docker, the Docker service.
Yes. So let's try this again. Let's just, in PowerShell, I'll just run it again. Just this easy thing to do. See if it works. If not, I'll ask it to resolve issues.
Okay.
It's further than we got. Yep. Okay. I think we're good. Yay. Okay. No, still same thing.
Yeah.
All right. So then.
And it has to do something with the AI configuration, with what I read above in the stack trace.
Okay. Let's see. Hi there. Help to resolve this issue. I usually, and you can tell it to look at the whole CLI, but it just takes a while to read. So I just do this.
Oh, okay.
So I copy the error message, and it just helps zone in, because it'll check every single thing that's ever been done here.
Okay.
So let's see. So where did you see that error? I didn't see anything.
If you scroll down, yeah. So the top lines here in that view, above the build failure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That says AI configuration, and then
right.
The
maybe
AI
that key is
triage
not
model.
right somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, the env variable has AI enabled. A blank OpenAI embedding model. But do we need embedding?
There.
Interesting.
Oh, the O offline flag. Oh, there's an offline flag. Okay. It's user error. No, it's not me. It's the code, actually. WSL has a separate M2. Let me reproduce the Windows tool chain actually ran. Oh, what? No. Is it an offline? Just let me.
Yeah, okay. So it's trying to reproduce that error. And then it found that the offline flag was a problem.
But offline should be okay because we're using local.
I think so too. Yeah, I guess the offline flag is for Maven, so it doesn't download any new repository dependencies.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I do remember I had a setting in my M file, which is basically telling it whether to run locally or.
Oh, okay.
But it usually has an automatic feed, like fallback, if it.
Yeah.
doesn't have that flag, but maybe they, anyway. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the real error is unsupported Azure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's something. Okay, so let me take this over here. I got to take it away from you guys for a second. And then I've got to change I've got to go in the M file here. Huh. But okay. I have to look at the M file over here because it's got all my keys in it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But it shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Now let me see what it's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to see what it's going to do here. So I can move this back. I'll let it. So it's working. It's going to, for some reason, it's using a unsupported version of OpenAI. I don't know. Okay, so it changed it to, but I didn't have that version mentioned in there at all. That's weird. Okay, let's see if that was actually the problem.
Yeah.
There we are. All right. Okay, so null or blank. So it's just leaving it blank, which it should be. Good. So it's basically leaving that value blank because it had to get an older version of a. When you're working with OpenAI, it's useful to add the model name. Of course, you need that, and then the version that you want to run. And I guess it had a invalid version.
Yeah, it said somewhere that LangChain4j actually couldn't find that version. So maybe that's a compatibility problem.
Yeah, the LangChain, yeah, that's very possible. The folks that might not have updated it with the latest versions.
Yeah,
updated our integration with the latest versions. So that would make sense, actually. Huh. Starting the app. Let's see what happens.
While this is running, Brian, I'm really sorry. I have to fix something really quickly. I'll be right back. You can continue your bug fixing. I'll be right back.
I'll fire it up and hopefully we'll be back. Hopefully you'll be running when you get back. It's asking me to sign into Vaadin. So just bear with me, folks. I'm signing into Vaadin, apparently. So, but I'm going to see. Okay. Uh-oh. We need a Vaadin Pro license. I don't have a Vaadin Pro license. Uh-oh. Right. Okay. So it's asking for Vaadin Pro. I don't have a key. I'm frantically signing up here.
I'm sorry?
So it's asking for a Vaadin Pro license.
Okay.
Which I don't have.
Yeah, you don't need that. It's free. There are some pro components. Yeah, it's checking it. So Vaadin is a bit tricky. So if you have a dependency in there, the default dependency, it will check for the pro license, yet you don't need that. So it will probably use a different dependency, and then you don't need a pro license and can still use it without limitations. There are just a couple of components that you can use and where you need a pro license for it.
Yeah, so I'm just going ahead and sign. Just got my verification code. I don't mind signing up. It's good work I've been doing. I've just never had to do it before.
Yeah, okay. So now it's your app uses 0 commercial components.
Yeah. Excellent. There you go. So this is the kind of thing. So this is what I do, right? I generate the app using GitHub Copilot, and then I go into VS Code and I work through it and I see what works. Then, by the way, when we deploy it in Scout, it's probably going to have other things that change. So let's see what we changed there so far. So we've got, of course, the M file. We're not going to do that. But the M example file, it did change something. And then the application YAML. So got rid of the OpenAI version. Good. Okay, excellent.
All right.
So we can keep all those.
So it was hard coded that it's using some preview version that was hard coded before.
Yes. It was hard coded for some reason. I don't know why. But we generated the code, so the code generator hard coded it. Yeah, interesting. So it might have been something that picked up from the old M file because I reuse that file everywhere. So,
yeah. So in the chat, it says it's trying to use the Vaadin core dependency.
Yes.
And then we don't need the pro license.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, it's actually starting a free trial. I'm probably not going to.
Yeah. We don't need that.
I'm not going to do it.
But there are some Vaadin skills as well for AI. I tried them a couple of times, but in the little projects I used them in, they weren't that useful. But are there any Azure skills, or is there a MCP server or something like that? Maybe
there is actually. While this is working, let's go over there. Good question. Awesome. Copilot. I could have used some of these today, but try to keep it really simple.
Yeah.
There's a repo called Awesome Copilot, and it has, I can't even say how many skills, hundreds, thousands. And basically, so there's agents, specialized Copilot agents that integrate with MCP servers, instructions, and skills. So skills are basically, and let me go back, do the whole full summary. Plugins and cookbooks as well. But the skills are really what you want these days. And does it have a count? I don't think it does. But there's quite a few. I don't know if there's any Vaadin skills in here. Let's see. Let's do a search. No.
Validation.
Yeah. There's no specific Vaadin skills, but there are several Java skills. What is that? Okay, Java. You see how I did that? So we've got Java Docs, Helidon, Spring Boot. Yeah, got all these. Copilot SDK, there's one for that, but nothing specifically for GraalVM. Nothing, unfortunately, for Vaadin. So that probably would be a useful one to add, actually. Okay, so let's get back to our. Let's see how it's going over here. Okay, looks like it's almost done. So, yeah. So it was a version, but also several issues with Vaadin.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Come on.
Yeah.
That is really
User is not
strange.
available. Hold on. Okay, so it automatically answered, I'm not available. Let's see what it does. Please create a version that does not require a Vaadin license. I'm gonna have to fix that. So yeah, it's still taking a while. Yeah, I mean, this is real world stuff, right? This is what happens when you do this. So let's see. So basically, when you type in things like that in VS Code, it does this thing called steering, which is basically it sort of pauses and reevaluates what it's doing.
Yeah, that is
Rewriting the UI is
quite
too
cool.
big a lift. It's not too big a lift. Come on now. The only path that removes the license required entirely is using a Vaadin version whose framework doesn't perform the dev mode check. Let me find exactly where that check was introduced. Okay.
I mean, if this is a blocker, we can just throw away Vaadin and use time leave. I think that is much simpler. Yet I find Vaadin really nice to program because it's such a native experience. You just program in Java, build your whole UI in Java, and it translates that to very useful and nice HTML.
Right. Oh, okay. So the Vaadin check was introduced in Vaadin 24.9. If we use 24.8, yeah.
All right.
Okay. So it might just be a question of changing the POM and rebuilding. Let's see. Were you aware of that? I wasn't aware of that.
I did not know that. And they always had the license checker because they always had the pro components.
Yeah, and obviously I'm all in favor of paying for software.
Yeah,
that
right.
you have to pay for and support open source projects when I can. But yeah, in this case, we're just writing the demos.
Yeah,
I don't have a version. Maybe I'll ask. Maybe I'll have to ask some of my fellow Java champions if I can get a pro subscription. But then I want to write applications that anyone could run without running into things like this. So
yeah.
Oh, no, it doesn't use test bench. It uses test containers.
Removing that unused dependency directly serves the goal. Okay.
Yeah, we know it. It used test containers, not test bench, based on the POM. I don't know why it added that. Part of the fun. I gotta say though, even though this is the kind of thing that would, it seems like it's taking a long time, but it's really not compared to the real world, is it? It's definitely a lot faster still.
Yeah,
when we get this done. So
I mean, also usually you don't sit beside the AI and wait for it to finish. You do something else,
yeah,
right?
I'd be off doing. Yeah, exactly. This is usually running in. I've got 3 screens. This is what I call the third screen. It would be a third screen function. So yeah, it would be over there running, and I purposely put a window on top of it so that it beeps me if it needs my attention.
Right.
So
yeah. That's another thing why I like coding in the cloud so much, because I don't have to look out for things it does, like starting and restarting Docker or something like that. It doesn't matter because that's not on my machine. Right?
Yes. Yeah. True. Yeah. There's a few advantages still to local. Plus, when I'm doing demos, I just always use it local, just so I don't see everything. And what you have to do to set it up. So, and our plan was to create this locally. So
yes, absolutely. That was the original plan.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I mean, we have the scaffolding of that whole application. Can we already start kind of preparing the deployment, or is that too
Honestly,
early, you think?
In general, the deployment really doesn't take that long once we get this going. Let's just see what it's doing here. What? License exception again? Wait.
Is it still a licensing problem?
I don't know.
License
it said something
exception.
about license exception. I don't know what exactly. I can only see this like this little corner of this. So
yeah.
Okay. It says it's running. Yay. Okay. I can't run. I can't. Okay. So I should be able to go to. Well, this is what I get when I go to localhost 8080.
All right. So Vaadin is running. Failed to initiate. Okay.
Let's see what I can do.
Yeah.
I got to say, for Claude, I haven't had this many issues in a while. So usually Claude is just generally working.
Yeah.
Yeah. The code works for a simple demo like this. It usually works. But yeah, it's still functioning away. So we can let's try that. Let's just try Scout, and at least I can show you what it does in case this just never gets around to functioning.
Yep.
So let's add content. Let's okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to GitHub local. Okay, new chat. Hi there. Picture here and deploy the application in that directory to Azure in a resource group called events demo with all required services.
Huh.
That's all I'll do. That's all I'm going to do.
So
okay.
Where does it get the required services from now? Is that something in the YAML?
Yeah. So the YAML actually has, and the scripts. So there's scripts here. So generated.
That's the Java. Okay.
Common tickets, for example. All the information is in here. I don't know where the actual deployment script is. Let's see here. But yeah, there's going to be a deployment well, the AKS, it'll infer that we got K8S. It'll infer to deploy it to AKS based on the K8S. And there's also
well, this is the prompt. Yeah, it could.
Prompt doesn't really have a lot actually. That's not a big prompt. But yeah, we can try. So we'll start it. We'll start the application and we'll see. Please ask clarifying questions. All right, so same thing. Oh, 5.6 sol. I want to actually use.
Too late.
I'm going to start over. Sonnet 5, Opus 5, actually. Opus 5. And we're going to go with Opus 5 Max for the context. There we go.
So max thinking is not just but the maximum tokens. It also uses it also takes the longest time, right?
Yes. So it's gonna basically okay. So test containers are spinning up PG vector, blah 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 blah.
Okay.
So it's for thinking and for context. So yeah, it's basically to use all the resources available on Opus 5 on Azure, basically to do that. So it's looking for all the files, it's checking all the files for Docker Compose, Docker file, et cetera, et cetera. The config map will help, but it's basically going to infer where it wants to deploy it. Then it's going to ask questions. So let's see how we're doing here.
So I think now it says the Vaadin downgrade is sound, so that should work. But now it has a problem with the repository, the database.
Yeah. So it's basically recoding the repository setup. Okay, so let's go back to Scout. So basically this will work. I know how are we doing for time? 1:52, 8 minutes left. See if we can do it. Want to get it under 2 hours. Yeah. So let's see. It's checking, it's running.
What what tools does it use to deploy to Azure? The Scout.
Depends. In this case, it's going to use, I think, the Azure CLI.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And it's going to use the YAML files for Kubernetes, of course, the AKS version. But it actually creates its own PowerShell file. So let's look. I think if we look here, we can probably see some PowerShell popping up. No, not yet. Usually, if you remember before, when we looked at this, there were a bunch of PowerShell files. Those were what GitHub Copilot app was using to generate this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. So now it's trying to solve something with PG vector.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, here we go. So for Scout, what the app is, tells us what the app is, Postgres with PG vector, Azure OpenAI, container registry. Okay, so the actual resource group doesn't exist. The default subscription, that's good. Existing resources. Okay. It has a blank OpenAI embedding model. No. So it's gonna. We just discontinued GPT-4o, so you can't do that. Cloud native, region, Sweden Central, Azure OpenAI, Postgres, Ingress, Auth, OpenAI. Okay, so Azure Container Apps. Huh.
Oh, we said before we want to use AKS, right?
Yeah, we use AKS.
What I'm wondering is, why does it need an embedding model? Because that was an issue before, I think, as well. What do we do? What kind of embedding do we do? Do we embed the issues?
No, I don't know, actually. We didn't look enough at the application to know. Hopefully we would know the answer to that. But please don't try to deploy GPT-4. Oh, it's been deprecated. Use GPT-5. Luna instead.
It's GPT-6.5 Luna, no?
Oh, 5.6, thank you. Also, create all new resources. Don't use existing resources. And this might actually take a while, so.
Yeah, but it says, I'll kick off the slow resources in parallel. And that's quite cool. So it takes some time to create some resources, the containers and the database, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
To improve that, it automatically parallels that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's going to run those in parallel. Yeah, it splits itself up into agents, just like all the other Copilot apps do. So this one does as well. VS Code and GitHub Copilot app all split out the agents. They have sub agents running. Look at this, 21 hidden agents running right now. So there's several agents kind of doing things behind the scenes. I don't know what these are. Well, these are errors, but but there's another one too, 22 now. So there's some kind of weird thing going on. I don't know. Okay, application failed with 0 license errors, a different cause. It looks like it's a, I can tell you what it is. It's a WSL Docker API connection error, it seems. Anyway.
That was before. That was the problem at the start, where we couldn't connect to Docker through the WSL, right?
Yeah, it's still looking like that though. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but that is some error with the database, I imagine.
That seems to be still the Docker connection error. I don't know. But anyway, let's see what this is doing. Let's go back to our browser real quick. I don't know if we'll get through this in the 2 hours. So.
Well, we got 2 minutes left, so all is well.
Yeah.
No, that's just fine.
Let me just go to the, okay. So let me go to the actual browser here for the Azure. Let's see what it created so far.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. Oh, yeah.
So it's got our AKS created. Let's see what else it's created. So if we go in the resource group, make this a little bigger. Okay. So it's creating our, it's got the Foundry.
Yes.
So it's automatically created an OpenAI. I had one created already, but that's okay. And then it's got the container registry. Of course, it needs that. And it needs AKS, but it's not going to be done yet. AKS will not be provisioned yet. It takes a while. Usually. Okay. Yeah, it's still creating the clusters and a few other things. Okay, let's go back here, see how this one's doing. Let's change the POM again. Yeah. So hopefully we can at least get this running locally. And then, you know, let's see. So let's see what we changed in the POM. So it added the dev mode license check. Then it removed
it removed the test bench.
Yeah, we can keep that. I don't like to touch it in case it's editing it at the same time. But then we've got this. Oh, yeah, okay. Anything else? Not really. All right. Well, let's see what it's going to do then.
App started. Now the key test requesting the dashboard. Yes.
Well, let's see. I got the dashboard right here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't think we're going to get that. Yeah. It's still working.
But now it's an SQL error or something, so we can't fix it with just throwing away Vardin. And I don't know why it's so slow. So usually it doesn't take that long to restart and to see that there is something going on.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. All right, so let's switch to Scout quick. We'll switch to the browser.
I mean, right now it could deploy the application. It would just basically, we see the same error probably.
Yeah. So it's setting up AKS and the managed identity. It hasn't set up the Postgres database yet, but it will.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, let me know when you want to. I think it's going to take a while, but okay. All right. It says it runs now. Okay, let's try this.
What?
Well, I'm going to clean verify.
Okay. We just checked the application and it didn't run.
Well, I don't know where it runs. I don't know if it's running on my foreground browser or if it's running on something else. But let's see. So I'll do a clean verify and then I'll do a run and we'll see if we get this baby working. And if it does, then by the time all the resources are created, it should actually deploy.
Yeah.
And then there we go. Okay. It ran.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It ran. There we go. Oh. I'm still going to try it. I'm going to just yellow it, see if it runs.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of the tests that's a problem. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. But still, I have a couple of questions about the deployment. So
yeah.
It uses some CLI commands to create all these resources. And then usually what I would like as a developer is a stable GitHub action, a CI pipeline that always deploys the newest version.
Sorry, say that again.
I would like a CI pipeline in my GitHub repository so that if I do any changes in the code, it will automatically deploy to the cloud.
You can do that. Yes, you can do that. You can set that up. Oh, well, for AKS, it's a little more difficult, but with Azure App Service, you can do that. So it will actually run an agent. So in that case, you do a GitHub workflow. Let me show that real quick. Yeah, it didn't work, by the way. It didn't work.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it's not running. But I'll try and get it. I will get it running. So if anyone wants to try running this later using the repo, they can.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, let me show that to you by deploying this. So let's just go here. I'm just going to set this up and I'll go to this repo and I'll say publish to GitHub. Publish this non-working to GitHub. So it's going to go there. Only takes a second.
Okay. I didn't know about that button.
Yes, very handy.
Yeah.
Visual VS Code. What?
What?
Am I logged into the wrong GitHub? We have a couple of GitHubs we need to.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
How am I supposed to do that? Cancel. Okay, wait. So, okay, what do I need to do? I need to log in. Sign in. Enable. Okay, anyway. Why am I not signed in?
But everything points to you being logged in. So weird.
Fun today. Okay, hold on. I don't need the session sync. What I do need to do is log in. Usually it's right here. Yes. Okay. Is that what it is? GitHub logout. Hi there. Please log me into GitHub as events. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Just give me a second here.
Yeah.
I can't remember what using the GHCLI. How do you do it? I can't remember what the logout command is, so I'm just being incredibly lazy right now.
Current status.
Yeah, usually it switches me.
Okay. You're logged into bbens _ Microsoft right now. Could that be?
Yeah.
That's the problem. No, you're logged into 2 accounts. Okay.
So I should be able to do this now. Let's hope. Yeah, I think it did it. Okay, let's go here. Open the repo.
Okay.
All right, it's there. Good. So your question was, if you could set up an action. So I would usually just do a action, which is a GitHub workflow, and then I would generate. But here's what you can do. You can actually, you can search workflows. So you can use them here, but you can also create a GitHub workflow that would deploy this automatically to AKS every time it gets published. So to do that, and by the way, any pull requests that I do, well, let's do this first. All right. Please add GitHub workflow that, well, GitHub action. I'm old school. Action. They used to be called workflow that will publish push and merge PRs to AKS. So it's going to change. It's going to add a workflow directory and
yeah. Okay.
And add that.
So that's what I would have done as well.
Yeah.
Like let the AI create a GitHub action, because I'm so bad with these action with writing these GitHub actions.
There is other ways too. So if I go into the portal, I go into the Azure portal and I go to my Kubernetes. How are we doing, by the way? Is it on yet? It's running. Okay, so it's running, but it's not. Let's see what. Let's go back to Scout real quick, and then we'll do the second part of that question. Where's Scout? Okay, there it is. So basically, oh, see, this is the kind of thing I love. So both model deployments. So it created the models.
Yep.
The production, no production profile. Okay.
Oh yeah. That's
Confirm
true.
production mode is false. That's okay. The image is build is in ACR. Good. So it did that. It set up the AKS role for me. AKS is set up, and it set up the federated identity credentials, which is important. Cluster's ready. Then it set up Postgres. So let's see what it did with that. Maybe it set up Postgres inside of Kubernetes. We'll see. Image pushed successfully. CLI extension is broken. Interesting. So it did a different approach. Instead of using the CLI, it used Docker with PSQL. Nice. So it's deploying. I didn't specify this. So it's deploying PG vector to AKS.
Well, actually, we had a question about this, right? Before.
Okay. Yeah.
Like locally use PG vector and PostgreSQL, but in the cloud use Azure Postgre something.
Yeah, the Azure Postgres for Azure service for Postgres.
Right.
It can use that. I didn't specify it, so it just decided to use PG vector.
Oh yeah. Okay. We specified that in the prompt or in creating the prompt, but it probably didn't write that down in the prompt that we then used. Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then it's got some. It seeded the actual workload tickets, and then.
Okay.
The chat fails with the temperature 0. So Luna. Okay. So it only. Okay. So it's checking the code. It's actually fixing the code now. So it's going to.
Right.
If you see over here, I think it's going to change some of the code. And I don't know what it does there. But that's normally how I do it. So if it finds something when you're deploying to Azure, it will go ahead and it will edit the code. Yeah, here's the 4 files.
Yeah.
So it'll actually edit the code for you to be able to run in the cloud. Maybe it ran locally, but it wouldn't run on the cloud. So it actually updated that. And then one of the things I would put in my prompt that I didn't would be, don't change any existing code if you need to update anything for the cloud, create a new version. I didn't do that. So anyway, that's another good one to do. So it's still trying to get my, what's it doing now?
Yeah, that one is trying to create the GitHub action.
Yeah.
And the other one is actually trying to deploy.
Yeah. So several teams of agents working at once, and each one of these things has multiple agents running at the same time.
Yeah.
So
but it's working on the same code base right now. It's not branching or having a separate work tree.
Right. So we should see in the workloads here, we have. Where is services? Okay. So we should see Postgres here somewhere now. I don't see it. Okay. I don't see it yet. It said it was here though. I don't see it though. Let's go back to Scout real quick and see what it's doing. So it's building and redeploying with this fix. It hasn't pushed it to the repo yet because that's not what this does. But then if it works, I would, edit the code and push it to the repo. But see, okay, maybe it's in services. Hold on. Like I say, they keep moving things around here. So namespaces should be here. Should be a Postgres namespace. Should be. Otherwise, oh, pods maybe. Okay. I don't see it. Kube system is not what we were looking for. Should be something that says Postgres here.
Yeah.
That would need a little. And normally you would see it here in services.
Maybe if we take a look outside of the AKS, just the.
I don't think it's. Well, let's see.
No.
Inside the resource group.
PG. Here it says PG. P-bands.
Oh yeah, it did do it. Look at that. So why did it say in Scout that it? You saw that, right? In Scout, it said it. It's now deploying to AKS. Okay.
Tricked you.
Yeah. What the heck? It's there. So we should be able to see the data.
Status is ready.
Yeah, it's here. Yeah, so it did create the Azure service. Okay. You can usually, there's a place where you can browse, and I don't know where that is. Endpoint. I don't think you can see this from here, but I don't think this will do anything. Doubt it. No. I can't remember what the port is for Postgres. Usually there's a link. Yeah, the virtual endpoint's not enabled. Okay.
The resource visualizer, could that be something useful?
No, that just does this. I'll show you. Well, yeah, it just does. We have one big database. Yep, that's all.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Anyway, I don't want people to watch me flailing around here. But the data's there apparently, so whatever. Normally there's a place where you can just see it. Anyway, not here, obviously. So we can ask Copilot here. Not now. And I see the data in this post. Let's see what it says here.
Oh yeah.
There used to be like a data explorer here, I swear.
Yeah.
But I don't see it now. Azure portal, look at your database. Yeah. Oh, download the Power BI file. Oh, you have to open it in Power BI desktop. Let's try this. And I see it on the web.
Okay, but that's actually helpful information from the Copilot here. So that's something good.
So you can actually look at the data.
Yeah. The web app.
Oh, okay. Oh, you have to create a static web app. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
I swear there was a data explorer that I used to use for this, but it's been a while. Okay. Anyway, so it looks like it created that, even though it was misleading us a little bit. That's nice. Yeah, it created all the resource groups we need. So Kubernetes, of the Foundry item. So it's created the Foundry. Go into the Foundry portal here, and it's going to have the deployments. So text embedding 3 small.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It'll work. I guess that's for doing the analytics. And by the way, that's one good way. It's a good structure for your database. GPT-5.6 Lunar, or not your database, your application. GPT-5.6 Luna is great for pretty much any task, except it costs substantial amounts of money. If you use something like text embedding to do things like just analyzing the data, verifying that it's valid before you pass it to GPT-5.6 Luna, that's the way to go.
All right.
So, and I have different projects. So I had GPT-5.6 Sol already pre-deployed, but they decided to use Luna for this, and then text embedding small. So the application itself, I don't know what it does yet, but that is a good infrastructure. So if you can have something like text embedding 3 small do some of the grunt work for a much lower price, and it doesn't need to have all the knowledge in the world to do that, and then pass it to 5.6 Luna for things that the embedding can't do, that is actually a good approach for that. Okay, and then we have for the resource group, so then we have some managed identity, which is good. It's good to have security. We have a database for Postgres, and we have the actual data collection. So let's go back to Scout and see what it did now. Okay. Okay, so it actually built and tested, and now it's rolling out maybe it fixed something that the other.
That would be cool.
No, new pod is crash looping.
Default checking.
So never mind. Okay. So it's going to have to redeploy again, but you get the idea. It's okay. Maybe we should wrap it up there. I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess we can take away a lot of things anyway. So we use GitHub Copilot to actually the GitHub Copilot application, the desktop application, to actually scaffold or create the Java application.
Yeah,
which worked basically. Yeah. Well, it said it was done and it just didn't run.
Yeah, we had a few problems along the way. We had, but yeah, it's there, and I'm probably going to have to do a little more debugging here. But this is a good example. So that does saves you a lot of time in building the whole application, right? That's a large application. That would take a team weeks to do. Just making sure the data generation, the code generation, making sure all the scaffolding is there, everything's set up. And then if my Docker had worked correctly, it would probably work locally. If we had a few bugs there that we couldn't figure out. And then we had the license issues with Vaadin. Yeah. But this is like real world stuff, right? You might have these things when you build it in runtime. And then you test everything out and you just keep iterating. And you have to know what you're talking about in order to build this and make it functional and secure, and maybe perform as well. But the nice thing about these agents is it does all the grunt work for you, right?
Yeah,
you can
typing
like setting up all this stuff on Azure takes, if I do one thing at a time, it's going to take an hour maybe with the CLI and everything, and then actually having Scout deploy and check and see why it's working and when it's not working, and testing. It's just doing that interactively right now, and I could just leave it here, which I probably will after this. I'll just leave it running and see if it can actually make it fix. I'll go back and I'll work on the Copilot version and make that work until it's fixed as well. And I will add some instructions so that it makes sure that it runs any fixes for the cloud are separate, so they don't break the fixes for local. And then from there you just work on iterating, and as you mentioned before, setting up the deployment. So it actually have a little message here. So it's got to deploy AKS. Okay, what did it change? I don't see the workflow yet, but okay.
But that the workflow is the deploy AKS. It's in GitHub workflows, right?
No, this deploys to AKS, yes, but what I asked it to do is a GitHub action.
Yeah, but that's
and I don't see it. I didn't see
isn't
a
that
GitHub action.
that's a GitHub workflow, and that's not the. That's basically
yes, you're
the
right.
action that deploys.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is a deployment manifest just because it says deploy AKS.
Yeah.
No, it's in the GitHub workflows directory. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, it's in GitHub workflows. Yeah, that's where it's going to work. So the GitHub workflow itself. Let's see. Let's see what this does.
Yeah, nice. It has the client ID and stuff like that in the secrets.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So right. So we would just keep this with the actual deployment YAML as well, but that's not. Oh, it's in GitHub workflows as well. Okay. And then we got a couple of bug fixes here. So then, yeah, I would update add actions. And then let's just push this out. So that'll push out. And then when you go to the GitHub repo, so go back to the GitHub repo. Blah, 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 blah. What do I do with my repo now?
Almost the last one on the bottom, right?
Oh, thank you. Yes. So then in here now, so now we have workflows.
Oh, yeah.
And these will be triggered when you do a PR. So merging a PR into main produces a push to main. So this single trigger covers both direct pushes and merge pull requests without deploying twice. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So that would basically deploy, assuming it works. I have to try it.
It already says it doesn't work, right? At the top, it's a red cross all the way.
Oh yeah.
But
actually,
I mean, we did not set up the secrets. The resources are not yet available, I guess.
Yes, that's very true. So yeah, basically it's build and push image.
The application is not even building, so we got a couple of problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah.
In theory, that would be a very real example.
Yeah, it's a real example in the sense that, yeah, it's not all working yet, but we only had a couple hours. So, you know, I'm pretty sure if someone wants to try this later, I'll have everything fixed and it should be running. Oh, yeah. And yeah, so, okay. So Scout's still working away, trying to figure out reasons why it won't work on Azure, which is nice. So that's kind of the way I workflow. So GitHub Actions, build the code, verify it in VS Code, interactively, you know, and make any changes you need to make, and then ask Scout to deploy it, and then Scout will find more bugs, right? Yeah, and it will change values. You push those into the repo as well, and then once you're done with that, theoretically, eventually, you'll have a working application that runs locally and in the cloud. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right. That was so. Even though we did not have a running demo application now, I think it was really insightful anyway. In terms of how your workflow looks for Java application in the Azure cloud.
Yep, absolutely. And I think the nice thing about this is. You know, it shows some real world things. Like I'm having problems with my Docker integration today, and you know, and we ran into a license issue with FOD.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing that's really going to happen. You know, it's not a canned demo, that's for sure. And you know, but you know, once you got your process down, it's good. So a few things I do is I have that M file that has all my models already built into it. but it didn't use them. Whatever. It created some new ones for the cloud, but it would use them locally. And then just having everything set up and make sure you're logged into everything you need.
Oh, yeah.
Docker was a little bit of a sideshow there. I thought I had the Docker set up, but hey. And then once you've got all that, I got your tools in place. It's pretty smooth and it kind of runs nicely. Oh, I'm getting, you probably can't see this, but I'm being asked to. So right now you can see here, it said there's no REST API. It's a per bottom AI, and it fired up the browser to check to see if there's an issue.
So that actually proves that it does work. I mean, the application does not work, but it did deploy the application, and we get almost, I think it's the same error as we have locally, just without the stack trace because it's in production mode, which is nice.
Yeah. So Scout is literally working away and figuring out why, because while we were talking, that browser window just popped up because it's looking at the browser.
All right.
Let me see if it works, Cool. So, and that's one of the nice things of Scout. All these tools kind of do the same things. You could probably do all this with the GitHub Copilot app as well. Yeah. But I like having the workflow broken down like this, so you could, having different teams of agents working on different things. I find Scout's better at figuring out the deployment on the cloud, and then GitHub Copilot app's better at figuring out code and VS Code with GitHub Copilot. So yeah. But wow, hasn't the world changed? I mean, the way we work now is totally different. I mean,
absolutely.
I can't imagine doing this a year ago.
I mean, the demo did not work, but you said yourself you did minimal preparation, like you set up a couple of workflows or something. Yeah,
I started. Yeah, I did 20 minutes of preparation for this.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I wanted to make it as real as possible. So that's my story, and I'll stick to it. But yes, that's what I wanted to do.
No, and that, like you said, a couple of years ago, that would have been a real issue. Like if you never have used Vaadin before, you wouldn't know what to do and where to start and stuff like that. It's crazy, really.
Yeah. And then finding out that in terms of the licensing, I wasn't aware that licensing could be an issue, and I didn't know that in 24.9 version 24.9 they implemented the licensing. So, but Copilot figured it out and fixed it. And
crazy.
So that kind of thing. So now it's looking at it's still, you don't see it now, but it's looking at JDBC analytics queries, so it's pre-running the tests. It's fixing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Maybe it's really fixing the core issue now.
Yeah, it might be.
Like you said, if it ever finishes without errors, you can publish it, and I'll post the link in the comments.
It will. I'll make sure it publishes without errors. Don't worry about that.
Nice.
But that link, I'll put it in the chat here just so everyone can have it, and you can link to it from the repo that you created as well.
Oh yeah.
Let me just where is that darn thing? No, that's not the one. This is not what happened. Okay. We're losing it again. Oh, over here.
I think it's a private repo anyway, right now.
No, this is a public repo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's public. I publish it to a public repo.
Perfect. Okay.
Here, the chat. I'll just add it. I'm just putting it in the private chat. I don't have a way to post it otherwise. Anyway, so that's it. That's the code. It'll be there. I'll make sure when it's done, it's supported, and we'll take it from there.
I'll just post the link here. Okay. So, Brian, thank you very much for that demo. Like I said, it did not work, but that's not a problem. That was not what we came here to see. The whole workflow and how you deploy on the cloud, that's the interesting part, at least for me, and I hope for the viewers as well.
Yeah.
And you show that pretty well, I think. Yeah, so thank you very much for showing us that, for taking the time.
Hey, it's been my pleasure. Looking forward to seeing the video. Feel free to cut out all the stuff where we were just sitting there figuring things out. Or not, I don't know. Whatever you want to do. But yeah, it's still there. It's building version 4 now. So we'll see where it goes from here.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. And Brian, about JCon, because I will be there as well next year. So I hope to see you there as well. If you're proposing talks, I'm sure some will be accepted. So we'll see each other.
So I will, I believe I will be speaking at JCon at IBM Tech Exchange here in the US in October. That's the one I was talking about. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I was talking about JCon Europe. You're talking about JCon, I don't know what it's called. JCon.
It's JCon US. Yeah.
US. Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But it's part of IBM Tech Exchange. I think it's October 24th to 28th or something.
All right. Yeah. Okay. But okay, I won't be there probably, but I will be at JCon Europe. So if you're going to be there, that would be amazing. That's in Germany.
I hope to be there. That's next year. I hope to be there next year. Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, very much.
Okay. Perfect.
That would be nice.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brian, and thanks to the viewers for watching. Hopefully see you next time.
Thanks. We'll see you around.
Yeah, see ya. Bye.